everyone, it's Erin, and today I have an intuitive card reading just for you. I'm going to be reading cards from this deck, which is a deck of mindfulness cards. These cards are going to help bring balance, awareness, and clarity to you. Now, I am not Miss Cleo, so I cannot tell you your future. Also, Miss Cleo could not tell you your future. But I have a card reading for you today, which will show you messages that you need to hear right now to bring clarity to you, to give you some perspective and help and guide you in the present right now. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to light my favorite candle. This is a candle called Endless Weekend. It is my favorite. It is made with essential oils, and it has summer mandarin, magnolia, and coconut water. It's very fresh and relaxing. So we are going to start this off by setting an intention. If you have your own, feel free to do that. But I am going to set a very simple intention that you hear the messages that you need right now. Okay. So now we have our beautiful Endless Weekend candle, which I will set off to the side. Okay, so I'm going to open the cards. These are a very thick deck of cards, almost sort of like a cardboard vibe to them, but nicer and glossier than cardboard. I'm going to shuffle them, and I am going to pick 3 cards that have the messages that you need to hear, and then I'm going to read them for you. I'm going to read the message, and then I'm going to do the intuitive reading to go a little deeper into it. If you like paper sounds, these are great cards for that. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle them up a little bit. They're a little large to do the traditional shuffle, but okay. So I'm going to pick the top 3 cards, and I'm going to read them. Okay, so we have What Just Happened, Enjoy the Ordinary, and Zap Kindness. The first card is What Just Happened. Making an effort to recollect the last few moments of an experience can brighten your awareness and lead to insight by helping you see connections between things. Next time you notice a strong emotion or a sharp sensation, give yourself a moment to remember anything that may have been related to that feeling coming on. Then acknowledge that memory and let it go. No need to create a big story around it. So I can see with this card that we have a lot of people who are trying to push away strong emotions of any kind, whether it's good or bad. I think it's a very common thing. The problem is that they come out somehow. Whether it is through anger or some kind of a vice like an addiction or something like that. And sometimes they take us by surprise. So what happens is you kind of suppress these things because you don't want to deal with them in the moment. And then you act in a way that is very maybe not yourself, or people notice that you're starting to act differently. And you or someone you know might say, what just happened? Like, why did that come up? Why did I feel that way? And so we need to, when we notice something coming up, unless you absolutely have to, you don't want to shove it back down. And I think a lot of us are noticing right now, especially with our old friend Mercury retrograde, which is happening right now. I think you're noticing that things that you thought were gone suddenly have resurfaced. It could be a problem, a person, an old relationship, something that you either thought was over and done with, or you want to be over and done with. And these things are bubbling back up to the surface. And that's not always a bad thing, because if that stuff was under the surface anyway, sometimes they affect us subconsciously without us even being aware. These affect us negatively, or they produce a kind of an overall feeling of anxiety or overwhelm. We don't really know where it's coming from, but it is coming from the stuff we haven't dealt with, and it just sort of gets like shoved down, but it's still there. So what we need to do is actually embrace the things that are bubbling back up right now and say, take it as an opportunity to actually deal with it. Journal, write it down, talk with somebody. Instead of pushing it away, ask questions like, why am I feeling this way? Why did I avoid dealing with this before? What's the worst that can happen if I deal with this? It's probably worse if you don't deal with it than if you do. So that is the message for what just happened. The second message is enjoy the ordinary. One of the reasons we're so willingly and easily distracted is that we're not very good at dealing with the ordinary. It's boring, so we let our minds wander off to find something interesting. But boredom is often a sign of calm mixed with restlessness. If we let go of the restlessness and appreciate the stillness of the moment, there is enjoyment to be found in the ordinary. Next time you're feeling bored, sit with the feeling for a few minutes and enjoy the quiet calm of the moment. well, isn't this a great message during the pandemic? So many people right now are finding themselves for the first time having to deal with having absolutely nothing to do. They're having to deal with sitting still, quiet, not being busy. Maybe you are the kind of person that finds purpose in being busy. You find being an overachiever or working too much as a way to escape from things, and now you don't have that outlet. You are finding that all of your hobbies or things that you used to do, especially social things, have been taken away from you, and all that's left is boredom and empty time and things like that. And so this is a perfect message of understanding that a lot of times we distract ourselves on purpose. We're not good at dealing with quiet. We don't know what to do with ourselves. A lot of people this is a time for a lot of us where we're going to have to get to know ourselves again, if we ever really knew ourselves to begin with, and learn that it's okay to just sit with ourselves and embrace the silence, embrace the ordinary, that we have to ask ourselves the questions of, with all of that stuff taken away, what do I have left? And right now, people are feeling like it's a void, like it's an emptiness. But that's not the lesson. The lesson is, with all that stuff stripped away, all of the busyness, all of the distractions, the work and the social life and everything like that, we can't run away anymore. We're forced to confront things. And it's up to you whether or not you're going to take that challenge and confront what you may be running from or hiding from. If we don't, we're going to drive ourselves crazy because we're being forced to confront those things right now. So it's a perfect time to reconnect with friends that we haven't seen or heard from in a while, reach out to people, get to know yourself. Creative things like art or reading or journaling, making lists, making plans for the future, making a vision board would be a great thing to do. So I hope that you take this message to heart and enjoy the ordinary. The last message that we have is sap kindness. Playfulness not only allows us to train ourselves to develop lovely qualities, it's also great fun. Next time you're walking around town or just going about your day-to-day business, see what happens if you send everyone you see good wishes by thinking to yourself, "May you be well," or "I hope you have an amazing day." Zapping everyone and everything around you with kindness as you go about your day will fill you with joy and appreciation. This is a very important message right now, and I'm glad that it's come up in the reading because there is so much individualism and just so much distress socially with social media and with politics and things like that, and a lot of anxiety about us versus them, and people with their opinions, and they might differ from yours and things like that. And I think that it's one of those things where we have to learn that when we give out the positive emotions of wishing people well and thinking positive thoughts for others, it comes back to us. It would be a great time to do what you can to volunteer somewhere, or to, if you can, make a donation, but that's not possible for everyone. But when right now we don't have a lot of activity, a lot of things going on, so it's so easy to just focus on the stuff that's going wrong and the person online who doesn't agree with you, or who has awful opinions, or is judging people and things like that. The problem is that we absorb those things really easily, and it can turn us cynical and bitter. And that's not how you really want to be. And especially when you have the boredom that's in there, like from the previous card, if you're bored, you don't have a lot of distractions, and then you're filled with all of this hate and divisiveness and things like that, you really can come out of this time possibly in a worse position than when you went in. And that's not what the universe wants for us. I think that with the right perspective, and understanding, obviously, that it's very difficult for a lot of people right now, but that we can use this time really wisely to learn important lessons about ourselves, to go out of our way to wish people well, whether it's in person or in our mind, because keeping that mentality of loving others, being kind to others, and keeping that in the top of your mind will only do good things for you and your state of mind and your well-being and things like that. So being playful is obviously very important. Having fun is very important, especially in times like these. So I think the message here is a very important one, and that is that even when things around us seem to be sort of falling apart, and we see people out there that are just full of hate, or things that we don't agree with, that we can still send out positivity into the world and get that back. Don't dwell on the people that are being awful, because you will absorb some of that, and possibly even have it take you over. And I have seen a lot of people become very bitter and very cynical. And if you are feeling like you're on the verge of that or going in that direction, I think this message is to zap you out of it, to snap you out of it, and to say, focus on the good people, focus on the positive people, focus on the kind people, and most importantly, be that person. And that will spread and grow to other people seeing your example and appreciating that, and that will reflect back onto you. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you would like more of these readings, please let me know, and I will be happy to do it. Have a great day.